Welcome back. Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence will be limited in the spring as he continues to recover from surgery to repair the AC joint in his left shoulder, and is on schedule to be fully cleared by the time training camp begins. Fifth-year quarterback was at the mic yesterday. Let's take a listen.
I'm very optimistic I'll be perfectly good for the season, but as far as just right now, I think just kind of pacing ourselves as OTAs go and working myself up to where I'm in shape as far as throwing, and so just the amount of throws might be a little lighter to start and work our way up just until I get really fully back. But I imagine that, and then maybe just some handoff stuff will be a little limited. But besides that, I think that won't last too long.
Courtney Cronin, Damian Woody, Mina Kimes here with you on First Take. Mina, is Trevor Lawrence the young quarterback under the most pressure to improve in 2025?
Yeah, he was my pick, and he is young, by the way. He's only 25, so he's about a year older than Jayden Daniels. But he's my choice for a couple of reasons, one of which is my belief in his ability. I mean, we're only 2 years removed from Trevor Lawrence playing like a top 5 quarterback. But obviously he has had his ups and downs, some of which early in his career we could pin on the disastrous start he walked into with Urban Meyer. And some of it has also been related to injuries. But a lot of it is also his own inconsistent play. And I think you really saw that last season when he did start. We know what he's capable of, and thus I think there is more pressure on him to hit those highs. Right now, he's got, I think, a really good offensive-minded head coach in Liam Cohen. He's got an absolute stud #1 receiver in Brian Thomas Jr. So I think the situation he's going into this year is one that is optimized for his success. But he's got to live up to that $55 million a year contract, and I think he does, so that in the future, if they want to restructure it and lock him in, they need to have conviction in him living up to the contract, his earlier play, and then, of course, that first overall draft pick that he was taken with.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're right. He has some big shoes. He got to step it up big time. I'm going to stay in the same division. I'm going to go with Anthony Richardson. Here's a guy that, you know, was a #4 overall pick back in 2023. All the physical tools that you would want at the quarterback position. And we know that coming into this year, we know that there's going to be a quarterback battle between him and Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we saw from this young man that the fact that you seen an incident where he literally took himself out of the game.
Sure.
Which is not good. We've seen him off injured all the time. For as big and as strong as he is, we've seen him miss quite a few times, missing games because of injury, and just the lack of progression as far as the player, developing as a quarterback. Now we know he only started 13 games at the University of Florida coming out, but what you see from Anthony Richardson right now is just a guy that just hasn't progressed at the level to be a starting quarterback. And we know he has one of the better play callers in the National Football League as his head coach in Shane Steichen. We've seen the work that he's done, whether it's with Justin Herbert, with Jalen Hurts. And so Anthony Richardson has to get with the program more. 2025 could be his last opportunity to be a starting quarterback in this league.
I think you guys know where I'm going to be going with my answer. Just the team that I cover for ESPN, the Chicago Bears. Look, everything has been centered around Caleb Williams this offseason. It's why they went out and hired Ben Johnson, somebody who speaks the quarterback language, to bring him in to build an offense that's going to get the most out of the former Heisman Trophy winner. And you think about his season that he had last year. A lot of good, a lot of not so good. We talked to him the other day, and one question I had for Caleb was about how is Ben Johnson already pushing you out of your comfort zone? And he brought up this example that day 2 of the offseason program, Johnson flings the door open into the quarterback room and starts quizzing these guys on what they learned the previous day. That's what he needs. That's the challenge that he needs to get to the level that the Bears clearly thought he could get to and still believe he can get to. That's why he drafted him #1 overall. But the discrepancy for him last year, 5th most passing yards in franchise history in a single season, and the 31st QBR. So there's a big gap that I think he's got to make up this year. And with a lot of weapons around him, a revamped offensive line, Mina, I know you've been high on the Bears for their free agency decisions there, should put him in position to succeed, but he's got a lot to prove because, as we know, with these young quarterbacks, teams want an answer after year 2 more times than not. All right, we're going to leave that there for now. Now it's time for some UFC.
I love Miami. We could come here 2 to 3 times a year if you ask me.
The buzz is palpable.
This is always a great place to see fights. It's a wild crowd.
I'm coming for it all, baby.
Alexander Volkanovski is that guy.
He is all mentality, ferocious, fearless, driven.
You gotta be kidding me! Diego Lopez does it again!
That dude is an animal.
He is sick.
Diego Lopez is a star.
I'm here to say Hobart. I'm the new cash cow.
The Paddy Party goes to the next level.
Statement made.
It's wild how some people just have it.
Are you not entertained?
There is not one MMA fan that doesn't want to see me. See you at the top. This main card is going to be nuts. You're barking up the wrong tree.
Anticipation is absolutely off the chart.
Fireworks are guaranteed. I cannot wait to lock these two to the cage. Buckle your seatbelts. We are about to go on a ride.
Here we go!
It's going to be a fun one in South Beach. UFC 314. Let's bring in special ESPN UFC analyst Dustin Poirier to preview the fights. We're going to start here, Dustin, with the co-main event. This is a fight in your division. You know this well. You've been in the octagon with Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett, and he's becoming a fan favorite in UFC. What should we expect from this matchup?
This is going to be a very, very fast-paced fight. It's to me personally, it's kind of like a changing of the guard. Is Paddy going to pull this off and beat a veteran who's been around for a very long time and fought the best of the best? That's the next step for Paddy. If he beats Michael Chandler, he's on his way to stardom. He's already a star, but he's taking that next step to really boost who the fans and who the company think he is.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that 155-pound weight group, Ilia Topuria is going to vacate the featherweight title to move up to lightweight. So the positioning there, Alex Volkanovski. If he's able to beat him for the belt and a spot to get his belt back against Diego Lopez in that main event on Saturday, does a win for Volk cement him as the greatest featherweight fighter of all time?
I mean, honestly, his track record, he's already the greatest featherweight of all time. I mean, what happens on Saturday night is part of his legacy, of course, but what he's done, his body of work is second to none. You know, first to none. He's the best, and it's good to see him still have that fire in his eyes and want to fight these young and up and comers, because a lot of these guys at his level don't do this. You know, they don't fight these dangerous young guys, and what he's about to do is, for me as a fighter as well,